Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. On this one we are going to be doing a PLM header install on this 2008 Honda Civic Si. Zanesville group, they were here when I had a little car show and he hit me up and needed his exhaust fixed up, so that's what we're going to be doing. The weld on it is pretty bad, so it's going to be funny to show you guys that. But anyways, I'll show you the header, I'll show you the top side of the engine and kind of what I have to do to get to it, and then I'll go ahead and raise up the car and show you what it looks like right now. So if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. All of it helps out the YouTube. I appreciate anything you guys can do. Yeah, just show the YouTube some love though. It really helps a lot and I really appreciate it. Let's get into this. I'll show you the header here. So this is the PLM 4:2:1. Pretty sure, yep, there you go. Pretty nice header. Comes with your gasket. I am going to be heat wrapping this. Comes with your flange, your 2 bolts to hold it together. It comes with a nice 90-degree O2 and then another O2 up here. It's pretty good design. I have the same one for the RSX basically. PLM is not bad for the price. So basically how these work is this whole cowl section comes off so you can get back there. And then it's just unbolting the cat separately. I'm gonna have to break the weld that you're about to see, clean that up, and then the actual header part itself, you loosen up the subframe a little bit and squeeze it through a very tight area. So do a little walk around on the car real quick. It's pretty clean. One of the cleaner ones I've seen, honestly. He went with a nice NVIDIA catback, so the exhaust should sound really good, like the PLM to the NVIDIA. Should be a good combo. He also has K-Pro. He also has this little DC short ram, which is kind of why I recommended doing the heat wrap, which it's always a good idea anyways if you're doing it. So that's not necessarily the reason why, but for the time being, while he has the short ram, the heat wrap will help a lot. So yeah, like I said, super clean. This is probably one of my favorite newer SIs. I like the 4-door better than the 2-door in this year, so the 8th gens are kind of growing on me. So yeah, let's get this thing jacked up in the air and I'll show you. If somebody tells you they can weld and they pull out a little Harbor Freight like flux core or something like that, don't let them touch your stuff. I know it's hard not to. You're in the moment, you got the exhaust, you want to get it put on, but try to hold back from doing what I'm about to show you. Like I said, guys, just because somebody tells you they can weld or has the Harbor Freight welder does not always mean they can weld. Does not always mean you should let them touch your nice new exhaust or whatever the case may be. And this is why. So he was in a hurry to get this thing on. Notice the drill bit still stuck in there. He was in a hurry to get his cat back on. Super nice NVIDIA. Luckily they come with really nice flanges. You can see this one here, I've already wiped it, but it was completely black all around this little spot here, which is an exhaust leak. Which is the least of his worries, honestly, with how he attached it up here. But when I go to do the header, I am going to have to fix that little leak back there. But let's see if I can get you up in here. Oh yeah, nice close-up. Look at that. Booger City. See how it's not even welded up there? Not even welded on the top. Definitely flux core. definitely bad. I mean, you got wire here, spatter there, and just boogered out. The best is the fucking bolt that broke that they drilled through and then broke the bit off in and then just left it. That's freaking hilarious. Don't get me wrong, guys. You know, not everybody's perfect. Not everybody makes the best decisions. Not everybody has the, you know, tools and know-how to do great work, but you gotta do a little better than this. I'm gonna try to attempt to get you guys squeezed up in here. Alright, so enough making fun of that. Basically, luckily these flanges are really good quality, so I don't even think any of this really stuck to it. I mean, you can literally just peel stuff right off of it, so I think with the chisel we'll knock most of those boogers off of the part we're keeping, and then I may have to go through and just barely clean up this flange a little bit. Definitely gonna take like the grinder to it, the flap disc to it, wire wheel it, clean it up nicely. This will probably just break apart when I take off the cap back. I doubt these will hold. I'm gonna have to pop out the O2 sensors. Hopefully they don't give me too much of a problem. Pop all the hangers, and then there's 2 bolts on either side of the header up there that disconnect your cat, and then basically you lower the subframe just a little bit in the back to be able to squeeze out the header that's up there. You can see like 1 bolt of it, 1 runner of it, and then the heat shield kind of covers the rest. So it's a tight squeeze getting it through there and just getting it out, but not too bad. Usually with Hondas I'll take on about anything, so yeah, this is what it looks like before. Alright, so it didn't break apart as easily as I thought it would. Like on the car I thought I would just hit it with the hammer and it would fall apart. But it did when I finally got everything unhooked and got those 2 bolts out up there where you see the one just snapped. Got the O2s out. Both of those are out and good. I managed to just save them for the most part. But yeah, when I disconnected it from back here, and that was disconnected up there, and it kind of hinged for a second, and I was unhooking it, the front just dropped because I wasn't expecting how much heavier that was, and as soon as it flexed a little bit, it broke right apart. That weld just fell right apart. So all of this boogerness, you can see the top side not even touched, which is good for me because it's less I have to clean up, but you can see the boogerness is actually somewhat stuck to it. So grinder will take care of that, flatten it out, won't be bad. The NVIDIA is actually a really nice exhaust. I'm kind of jealous if they don't offer one for the RSX in 3-inch, because now I kind of want one, but yeah. So there was some sort of gasket. I'm guessing that's that's the stock one. So there was the stock gasket is what is on here, but you can tell where they hacked into it with the grinder and whatnot. It's pretty bad. And then just boogered it all up. Drill bit still stuck in the back side of it, as you can see there, but that is the stock cat on a 08 SI. Now while the car is warm, I'm probably just going to try to get to these header bolts and start trying to break those loose. So I'll check back in with you guys when I kind of get farther along on that. Alright, so this is a good stopping point for today. I got the old stuff unhooked while the car was still warm. I wanted to get all the old stuff broke loose. And as you can see, heat shield and header are laying down there. I don't want to take it back up because I always leave stuff down while I'm not here. But yeah, so the old cat's out, the header's disconnected, the heat shield's disconnected, everything's out. In order to get to those, you have to undo your cowl, and then you undo this little service panel here, which gains you, you know, about this much room. Still sucks though. It's still super tight getting through there and working through there. I mean, might not show up on camera, but a couple bloody knuckles, scrapes up your arms. It's pretty tight. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, so we are back at the shop today. I went to the store, picked up a few things. Here we have a 3-bolt, 2.5 inch gasket that is basically for the header. Goes like this. We have a flange that goes in that one, but this connection was where it was welded on the exhaust over there. So this gasket will be for that connection. Basically it links the test pipe to the actual catback. Like I said, he did not provide me any bolts, so we got some good zinced hex head M10 bolts with locking washer nuts. Sorry, I wasn't even showing them. So these are like what I prefer on exhaust stuff. If it would focus. Focus. There we go. These are like what I prefer on exhaust stuff. You gotta get that locking washer head. These are a couple long ones I had left over, and then here are a few more short ones. These are the 8-inch 9-pack. They're for 2 inches, so should be perfect for around here. Then like I said, if I need bigger ones for maybe like down here, that's what these will be for. Or if I have to run out and grab some more of the big ones, I can. You can also double up on these. I also have like regular old wire tie sorry, that I could use. I could actually just do wire ties too, but I prefer these stainless steel ties a little bit more because they're a little bit thicker, a little more durable. And then this was actually for my personal car. I had this laying around. About $50 in exhaust wrapping just right here alone. This is their titanium. It's a 50-foot roll by 2 inches. So this is, you know, pretty much the best stuff you can get right now. I know there's a few other variations and brands, but this is the stuff I like the best. And then I showed you guys that stuff yesterday. So this is just the unknown stuff that when he brought me this, I recommended doing the heat wrap, which comes along with the stainless steel ties. And then I realized once I took everything apart that I was going to need these. And then over here, I'll show you the progress on the exhaust so far. So you can see this 2 inches at the top wasn't even touched. Nobody even welded that. They just welded around here, about to like there. So this is just barely hit with the grinder just to clean off the exhaust stuff, but the rest of it is is actually stuck on there pretty well. So I'm having to grind off all this weld and boogers and wire and all the junk that's on here to make a clean connection. And I know, you know, people would probably argue with the grinder, you're not going to get it flat, whatever, you know, with the flap disc, but I've been welding for 10 years. I know how to use a flap disc. I know how to make things pretty flat. And then this gasket fits very well. It has the crush part in the middle, so you'll get it pretty good. I might even run like a block over it just to try to flatten it out as best as I can. It'd be nice if I had like a belt sander or something like that. I could run this on and get it perfectly flat, but a block and doing it by hand will basically do the same thing. So yeah. Oh yeah, and if for some reason that back one I can't get to seal up, I do have another 2 inch which I might just end up using anyway. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go ahead and grind off these boogers, and then I have to get the car up in the air, shimmy the header out just because I left it hanging. It's all unbolted and everything, but the shield and the header is just kind of like stuck down in there, so I gotta get it up, like I said, wiggle it out, and then all the old stuff will be off. The old bolts for the header and stuff still look good. They were tight, pretty hard to break loose, but not bad, so I'm gonna end up reusing those and we should be looking good. So I know it's a lot of talking. I'm gonna get to work. I'll try to film as much as I can and check back in with you guys. Alright, from ashy to classy, after a little bit of block sanding, we got a 120, we got a 220. For nothing but a flap wheel and some hand sanding, this thing's looking good. There's a little spatter here, so disregard that. There's still some up here, but other than that, the whole flange has been cleaned off. Sorry, trying to flip this thing over. Pretty complicated by myself, but yeah, the flange has now been cleaned off. Little piece of spatter stuck there still, but for the most part, the holes got cleaned out. I ran some sandpaper through those. I beveled the edge like it comes from the factory, and then made sure this was nice and flat. Obviously it's not going to be perfect. Now it's nice and clean. Alright, so definitely wasn't the easiest thing to get out. One of the only bolts that has given me a problem is that one that connects this bracket to the block. It was hard to get on straight and ended up rounding off a little bit, and I just know that backside, it ain't coming off, just like the one next to it. So what I did was get up in there with the Sawzall. You don't use this anyway with the header, the new header, so I don't like cutting things apart. I like to try to get stuff out in one piece, but that was the one thing we had to sacrifice. Heat shield's actually in really good shape. It's a shame can't use it, but I guess if anybody needs one. And then over here, to get that header out, I had to kind of move some of the brackets that are holding the shifter cables and the O2 sensor, and then I also had to kind of space down the subframe and unhook the sway bar, just to get, you know, that little 1/4 of an inch extra gap. And then up there you can see the back of the motor, which looks pretty clean. You can see we got 2 studs sticking out and then 3 bolts that go in. I will end up cleaning up the surface a little bit, and that's how it's gonna go on. Luckily the studs and everything are clean, nice. Bolts came out good, so shouldn't be a problem there. So yeah, basically all we have left to do now is heat wrap the new stuff. Alright, so for these, the best way I can really see to do it, rather than just wrapping it up in one big chunk, is I've cut off sections to wrap up to about here, this one about there, you know, get them down to about here, and then it will turn into just one full roll. But get these wrapped individually with sections of it, so you're not using, you know, the whole big roll trying to go around and squeeze it through here. So basically the biggest advice I could give is do it wet. It makes it a little more stretchy, and then double up on gloves, because when this stuff gets in your skin, it sucks. Alright, so obviously I'm not at the shop anymore. I'm back home. I got it all wrapped up, got it done, got it wire tied, used some of the stainless steel ties, and came out good. I'll go ahead and show you guys in the next clip, but basically I didn't feel like filming it. I didn't feel like getting out the camera and setting up a time lapse, and it probably took me an hour or two, so that would have been a long ass time lapse anyways. So I just did it off camera, but it turned out good. Like I said, I'm back home. I had to come home and hop in the shower. Even though I doubled up on gloves and everything, it still got into my shirt, into my arms, into my hands a little bit, and I just wanted to get that stuff washed off because I hate how that stuff gets in your skin and it agitates it, irritates it, whatever. But I'm at home, about to cook me up some steaks on the old grill. Get your little tongs in there. And that's what you should hear when you throw them on that bad boy. Nice sear, nice sizzle when you throw it on. Get that Italian on there. Leave it on that side for about 5-6 minutes. Should be good to go. Alright, I think they're ready for a flip. Give them a little butter on this side. Let those things sizzle. Oh yeah. Like I said, you gotta throw that barbecue on there. Looking good. Oh yeah. Alright, so it's a new day. I came in this morning, got the header finished up with the wrap and everything. Kind of got cleaned up, got my tools picked up, and went ahead and snaked the header back up in there, the new one, and just got it bolted down. It's 3 actual bolts, 2 nuts. They're 14 millimeters, and then I put a little blue thread locker on them and torqued them down to 33 foot-pounds. That is for the bolt and the nuts. So header bolts, 8th gen. Header bolts and nuts for the 8th gen are 33 foot-pounds. And I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like now that it's up in there. So you can see there's like bolts top and bottom on each side, and then one underneath in the middle, and then the 2 nuts are on the top. But yeah, this thing turned out pretty nice. Was able to get it in without banging it around or messing up the heat shield really, or the heat wrap really. So now I just have to plug in the O2 sensors, kind of put these brackets for the cable and the O2 sensors back in. There's one goes there, and then the cables go to those 2 holes up there. Those are just, it made it easier to get those out of the way. This also kind of got bent out of the way a little bit, so I'm gonna straighten that back out, and then I still have like the subframe spaced out down a little bit, so I gotta bolt the subframe back up. But yeah, I'll show you guys once I get the test pipe in and start getting the exhaust on a little more. Basically, now the test pipe can bolt up. This will be for the hanger over here. You got the O2 sensor that runs to that one, then the downstream one right there. It's right there. Sorry, let me turn the light on. And then you have your 2 bolts and your gasket flange, or whatever they call it, to go inside of here. So just for reference, if anybody else is doing this bag of bolts and gasket go into those 2 and right there. And then yeah, our exhaust will pick up at that point. And I already showed you guys the exhaust is cleaned up. I left the actual muffler part in there, so I'll just have to go from that test pipe, bolt it up to here, This one's already good, and then make sure this one seals up and get it in all the boots or all the hangers. And yeah, I'll probably just loosely fit everything up there. Get the 4 subframe bolts tightened back up, get the sway bar put back up, and just start putting things back together. Alright, so we got the exhaust wrapped up, everything underneath is good. I got the subframe bolted back up, sway bar bolted back up. Just kind of going through now, making sure I didn't miss anything, but I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. It's all buttoned up underneath. I just have to throw back on his little cowl panels on the top side. So yeah, sway bar is bolted back up, subframe is bolted back up, header up there, nice and tight, torqued down like I said, heat wrapped all the way to the test pipe. We got the O2 sensors back in, all good to go. Got this stuff kind of tucked back out of the way. Same with that stuff, I bent it out of the way and kept it there a little bit just so these are just literally plugs sitting right next to the exhaust, so don't want those to get hot. We got the spring tension bolts in. On that connection, we got our crush gaskets in there. Again, O2 sensor, new gasket, brand new bolts, grade 8, good stuff. Not gonna go anywhere. I got his heat shield to bolt back up for the most part. I mean, you can tell it's a little beat, but heat shield's not gonna make no noise. Got all of our rubber hangers back on. Even though these never got loosened, I went ahead and just made sure they were tight, tightened them down a little bit. New gasket on this seam, or this connection, just because I noticed it was leaking right around this bottom area, so hopefully that stays sealed up. Kind of cleaned up the exhaust, wiped it down. We got that hanger in as well, so the whole thing, you know, the whole thing ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. The only thing that's kind of weird is this bush hanger here, but it's attached, it's not going nowhere, it's insulated, shouldn't make any noise, but if for some reason it does, we can kind of figure something out on that. Probably just bend this down a little bit. But yeah, here is the header install on a 8th gen SI. PLM header, test pipe, all the way back to the NVIDIA exhaust. Sounds pretty good. I don't know what they were doing, but it sounds pretty good. I think that's a job well done. Hopefully he lets me keep going on it. Hopefully he has me do some other stuff to it, some maintenance stuff, the plugs, shit, wrap, whatever. And then this dude is his buddy with another very nice 8th gen 2-door. Got the Avids hybrid. It sounds pretty good. He's got some Corbos. He was at the car show. But yeah, his paint left the chat. Just checked out. I mean, clear coat failure everywhere. Top, bottom, pretty much any part that saw sun a little bit. So this side ain't too bad. It's got some fucked up trim, but the trunk is like probably the worst. Said he's got a carbon hood coming, so that'll be dope. And we're talking about doing like a teal green wrap, so hopefully you'll see this car back here very soon. Headlights are pretty sick. Hopefully you'll see this thing back very soon to get a wrap. His other buddy's got a Jeep. Looks like he's painted the wheels and done some little stuff on it. And then his other buddy's got the slow bolt. Looks pretty factory. He's done like a lip and some wheels and an exhaust, and it actually didn't sound too bad. The wheels are actually kind of cool. And then this is this is the guy that got his exhaust done. This is his girlfriend. She's got a nice little cord here. I was telling him, like, we need to get this thing looking right, because these actually have a lot of potential. talking about doing like a chrome delete, maybe lowering springs, a few little goodies like that. But yeah, these kids are cool. They're from Zanesville. They came out to some of them came out to the car show, and glad to have them here. They've supported a lot. Super appreciative of them coming out, having this work done, and wanting to get more work done. What do you think?
If I two-step it, is anybody gonna get mad?
No, go ahead. That's a spicy tune right there. I heard it popping and banging. Sounded good in the distance.
You can see all the smoke.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta think, like, I dunk that shit before I do it, so that was just yesterday at this time. So, like, it wasn't, like, dripping wet this morning, but it was still very, very wet, so.
It fucking pools now.
Alright guys, that is gonna do it for this video. I appreciate you for watching. My car is yelling at me about my seatbelt. Yeah, shut up. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Cool little video. Glad we got the exhaust done. Glad it went as well as it did. Sounded great after they got on the Honda a little bit, threw a base map on it. The two-step and everything was pretty rowdy. It sounded good. Makes me want a Vibrant for the RSX, because I haven't bought an exhaust yet for it. But anyways, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to see more content. You know, get a notification when the videos first drop. Definitely hit that like button, or leave us a comment. You know, say something. If you're watching this video, just drop a comment. You know, it's not that hard to do. It doesn't take that long. Give me some feedback. What do you guys think? I'm really trying to get some more interaction going on YouTube, because I feel like I'm putting out some pretty decent videos and pouring it out there, and really trying to make the best content I can, and being pretty open with the shop and everything that's going on, and just really giving you guys a real deep dive into my life. And people are subscribing, people are watching, but not really getting any feedback. So nobody's really leaving reviews after they come get work done either. So if you had work done from me, leave me a review. It's just, I need feedback, because it's just motivation to hear people. You know, people do it, but not everybody does. So I've gotten plenty of good feedback from people that say they love their cars when they get them back. They're clean, they're this, they're run so much better, it was a good price, this, that, and the other. But it'd be nice to hear it a little more often, or anything I can do to better, you know, the channel or the shop. So I know it's kind of a long rant, but like I said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully the next video will come out sooner rather than later, and we'll keep the ball rolling on some cool content coming in. So that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and as always, have a good one. Peace out.